All right, kiddos, it's about time we got down to what actually happened with our family, which was we bought four birds. So here comes flock 4. All right, so flock 4, I think we got the drill now. Number of girls, that's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, good so far? Good so far. Probability of these birds happening. All right, so some of this is going to happen pretty quickly. We're going to figure this out fairly fast. 0, we know what that's going to be. It's 0.1 to the 4th power, which is going to be 1 in 10,000. My head would have exploded if we had gotten those 4 birds home, raised them from day-olds to teenagers, got them out in the coop, and they all started crowing. And chances are it'd be worse than that. We'd probably kill each other, too. So, it shouldn't happen. 1 in 10,000 chance of that happening. Okay. 4, fairly straightforward to figure this one out too. 0.9 to the 4th power. Okay, all girls, all girls. Just so you know, this is the one that I had to do in my head, working with the guy at the counter that day when I said, "You're telling me that there's a 90% chance each one of these is a girl?" And he said, "Yeah," and I said, "That means there's a 1 in 3 chance there's a boy." And he's like, "How did you know that?" And I was approximating that. I can't do this in my head. I'm going to have Google do it for me here in a second. 0.9 to the 4th, well, 0.9 times 0.9 is 0.81. If I drop the 1 and just forget about it for a second, that's 0.8. And then if I multiply that times itself again, that's a close approximation of this. So 0.8 times 0.8 is 0.64, which is like 2/3-ish. So that means this is about 2/3. If I go to Google real quick, give me a quick second here, friends, and I will calculate what 0.9 to the 4th actually is. It's 0.6561. It's 0.6561. Which means that there's a 1 in 3 chance of getting a boy somewhere in here. Compare this to the last one. Remember what it was last time? At this point, it was about 75%. That means that out of 4 times that we buy 3 birds, which is 12 birds total, we can clear 9 of those birds on average to be all girls, and the other 3 is where the question mark happens. Same kind of thing here. Same kind of thing here. Out of roughly 3 trials, you can clear 8 birds, which means there's 1 trial out of 3 where you're running the risk of getting a rooster somewhere in there, which is weighing on my mind as we brought these birds home. So anyway, applying the mathematics of what happened, 1 and 3 should fall pretty easily next. We know that 1 means we've got a 0.9 and we've got 3 0.1s. But we also know that since there are 4 birds total and we only want 1 of them to be a girl, that means it could be the first girl or the second or the third or the 4th. See all those ors? It's just like in that explanation video a couple back, right? It's all those ors mean to add. So it's 4 times 0.9 times 0.01 cubed. And what's that going to be? 0.001, 0.009, 0.0036. Very small. Should not happen. Should not happen. Very small. Good, good, good. 3 should be similar. That means I want 3 girls, 1 boy. And since there's 3 girls and 1 boy, where can the 1 boy be? Well, it could be bird number 1 or bird number 2 or 4 again. Okay, so let's figure this out. This is 0.729. That was from a couple ago. 0.729, 0.0729 times 4. I can't do that one in my head. 0.0729 times 4. 0.0729 times 4. I get 0.2916. Okay, so far, and technically, if you think about it, we're done, because we have 4 of the probabilities. If we just add those together and dump them up here, we'll know what the 4th one is. Let's do that real quick. So I've got that plus 0.6561 plus 0.0036 plus the last one, which is 0.001. 0.0001, excuse me, 3 zeros, 1. I get a total of 0.9514, which gives me a remainder of 0.486. 4.86%, which is, you know, pretty unlikely. The question again is, how would you be able to get that one? I'm going to leave this as an open question for you. We can talk about it in class, of course. We know this has to be what the nines and the ones have to look like. I want you to think about what that number has to be there. We'll talk about it in class, and that and many, many more. But since we have this, we know what this has to sum to. I will ask you this if you're interested. Think about what that question mark has to be, and then ask yourself, if you have 4 birds, which happen to be named Mary, Marge, Bertha, don't click Marie, Marge, Bertha, and Nancy. There are 4 grandmothers' names. Here's my grandma, my grandmother's, and my wife's grandmother's. Ask yourself, if you have to pick 2 of them to be girls, which 2 are the girls? And if once you've counted up all those ways, you'll know what number has to go there. So we'll come back to that one. We'll put that one on the in-class quiz for you. That'll be like the last question. Okay, so next up is a synopsis of all of this stuff, because hopefully you realize if this gets much bigger, this is going to be a total pain in the butt. It is. It's ridiculous. This is the last time you'll create one of these in the way we just did. There's absolutely no reason to do this once you understand. I need you to understand it. I hate math when it's a black box. It drives me insane. I like math to be understandable. This is understandable. We're going to start using technology to do this for us, though, because we need to, for goodness sake, yes. So, more on that to come.